Hey, so just coming back, this is part two. For the point, you can see part one. So again, the message is how people treat us is often, I'm gonna say for me, what I've learned is how people treat me is how I've been treating Yah in the past. And so I wanted to share, I think I'll share maybe two or three testimonies on how that has played out in my own life. So testimony one, story time. So when I was in LA, we had so I stayed in an apartment, and we had these neighbors that they would have these little gatherings and these shindigs super late at night. So sometimes they would do it on Saturdays, which I get, some people may agree with that. Other times they would do it on Wednesdays, and they would do music things, like they would play in their backyard, and their backyard, my window was paper thin, so I could hear everything. I could hear people cough in their apartment, hear everything. So, they would have these little shindigs, and it would go until like 2 a.m. So initially I would go down there and I would talk to them. And around 2, I would go down and I would peek over the fence, and I'd be like, hey, can you guys kind of like wind it on down? Like, it's a weeknight. And they were always nice. Let me say this. They were always nice. They were always like, yeah, oh man, like, like, sorry. Yeah, we'll take it on in. We'll take it on in. But eventually this started to get on my nerves because they were loud until 2 a.m. on like work weeknights. So long story, it's not short, long story medium. One night, after about a couple of months, I feel like, I don't know how long it was. I think it was a couple of months. I was fed up. I ain't gonna lie. I was fed up. And I remember being like enraged, and that was probably demonic, but regardless, I was fed up. I was enraged, and because I wanted to get some sleep. And so it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was a Wednesday. And I remember just being enraged. And so I got up, and I don't remember if I slammed the door leaving or slammed the door coming back, but I had my bonnet on. This is real. I had my bonnet on, my pajamas. I went out the house. I stormed out the house, and I went over to them, and I was like, yo, like, what are we doing? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a Wednesday night. Do y'all have jobs? Like, I literally asked. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not understanding the mystery. Do you guys have jobs? And they were like, oh, sorry, it's LA. So they were like, oh, sorry, da 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 da. And I was like, yo. So here's how this works. I have a job, and for that job, I have to be up early in the morning. So what are we doing? What are we doing? So anyway, they started packing up, and they went and oh my gosh, like they went to the house, but the dude was like, sorry, whatever. Anyway, I come back, and I might have slammed the door then. I just know that there was some slamming of doors because I was pissed. But I come back, and I'm so like angry. And to defend me, I didn't start off angry. This was like months. Like I think at that point I was just kind of fed up. So I was talking to the Lord about this. I was talking to Yahuwah, and I remember being in my room just talking to Yahuwah, and I was angry, and I was just like, yo, like, I keep asking them to turn down, to stop doing this. I was like, yeah, like, what are we going to do about this? Like, what are we going to do? Have you ever tried to bring Yah into your foolishness? Like when you be doing something, you be trying to bring him in. So I was like, what are we going to do about this? This isn't fair. Because I was just tired and cranky. So anyway, Yah said quietly, he said, I know. And I'm still going on. And he was just like, I know. And so that happened again. So shout out to any new believers. If you don't know how to hear from God, or, you're a new believer, when you feel like a voice or the Spirit quietly telling you something repeatedly, that message is for you. And it's usually God. Now you got to read the word of the Lord so that you know the fruits of the Lord, so that you know his voice, because the enemy can talk too. But just know that, it's an impression. You'll hear it. So I kept hearing him say, I know. And once I realized he was saying that, I realized, oh, something's going on. What's this with me? Like, what's going on? So I was like, yeah, what's going on? And this is what he told me about me. He said, you're mad at those neighbors, but you treat me the same way. The neighbors always are polite, and they always say sorry. Now this is for months, for however many months. Every time you go over there, they tell you that they're sorry and they're polite, but they keep doing it. And he told me, that's how you treat me. This is what he said to me. He said, you treat me like that. You come to my throne and I keep telling you to work on certain things, and you're cool about it, but you say sorry, but you don't actually change. Your behavior does not change. And when he told me that, I was just like, oh, like I was like, oh, so this ain't about the neighbors. Like, so it just wasn't, now the neighbors was wrong, but that was the first time I'm sharing this, because that was the first time in my heart that I was like, yo, this is how I treat God. This is how he feels. This is how he feels. And so Yahuwah was showing me basically also about repentance. Like, he was showing me how it feels when I was coming to him. And it's like, there's some sins now that I do, like gluttony, but that where you just say you're sorry, but he's looking for an active change is what I'm trying to demonstrate. He's looking for repentance. He doesn't want us to just come to his throne and say sorry. And that's what I was doing I was doing, especially at that time. That's what I was doing. And he was like, no, like, this is how I feel. As angry as you are right now with them, you're doing the same thing to me when you come to my throne. And so that's what he was telling me. Story 2, another time, he said to me, I want you to spend some time with me. And I said, now this is to Yah, this is to the creator of creators. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I got this to do, that to do, this to do, that to do, that to do. So basically I was pretty much doing my own thing. That week I was talking to 2 people, and I was like, hey, like, we need to spend some time doing something. Do you know, they told me, this is why I'm sharing this with y'all, because I have had stories where the same thing that I said to the throne to Yah, baby, that sometimes it's that day, or that week, people have said this same thing to me. The same thing I said to Yah, they said to me. When I told Yah, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got this to do, I got that to do, I went to other people and I was like, hey, y'all want to do something? Y'all want to spend time? You want to know what they told me? Oh, Megan, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got this to do. And I knew how y'all felt so many times. A lot of times. Now, some of y'all will agree with Yah, because in my prayer life, he said to me, sometimes you bring your burdens to me, and I want you to be silent and listen to my solutions through my word. And I've said to Yah, oh, yeah, I'm going to let you finish. But yeah, let me still tell you about this. I've said that to him. But basically, I Kanye Yah. Like I said, I'm going to let you finish. This is the creator of creators. And then that same day, I'll talk to somebody and they'll be like, oh, Megan, I'm going to let you finish, but da-da-da-da-da. So the point of all of this is, and this is long. I know it's meant to be long, but I have to get this out just to share. The point is, we should all pay attention to how we treat Yah, or to how we treat Yah is how people can treat us. So what that has taught me is a lot of things. It's taught me to give grace. Now I'm not saying stay in no toxic situation. Don't be staying in no toxic situation. But I'm saying that when you're dealing with people, I've had to learn, I ain't putting this on y'all. I've had to learn. Sometimes the issue is not the other person. Sometimes the issue is with us. So I've had to learn, why am I going to be upset with the person in this instance when they're just being used as a mirror to show me how I'm treating God, to show me God's heart, to show me how he feels? They're a vessel. So in understanding that how people treat us sometimes is how we treat Yah, you're able to see that person is just being used as a vessel and as a mirror to show you God's heart. It's to show you how he feels. So that even helps. Sometimes we're not called to get mad at people. Sometimes we're called to examine ourselves. Sometimes we're called to take accountability. And I've had to learn that the hard way. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, that I'm being reminded as well that we should always be careful with God's heart, and he doesn't allow people to treat us bad or whatever, or use people as vessels, or use situations as vessels because he's a meanie God. It's just because he wants to be intimate with us and he wants us to know how he feels. We are his creation. And so and then also, like I said, it helps us give grace to people when they do things. They're just being used by the Lord. So I guess that's just a message that I wanted to share, to how, how people treat us is how we treat Yah. So I hope that's helped somebody. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way. I hope you don't. Love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.